It's yours truly, Ricovbes, and welcome to Take 5. My special guest today happens to go by the name of Jimi D.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, man?
Not much. Bless
All
up.
right. It's been a minute.
Yeah, long time.
A long time, man.
Yeah, long time.
I don't think we've spoken about music for at least 5+ years.
Yeah, yeah.
When was your last single? When was the last time I spoke to you about music?
Yeah, around that,
Been around that time.
Yeah, around that. But, I've been still, just laying low.
Right.
Working, doing some different things and, and still putting out music,
Gotcha.
a little quiet still,
Gotcha. Wow. And fast forward to well, first of all, how did you get into the business?
Well, I got into the business because singing background vocals for my uncle, Don Carlos.
Okay.
I left school and he was like, it's your turn. So I started touring with him, going to places like Africa and, South America and places like that on them tours and stuff, and even here in the United States. So segue into that, a few years went by of me doing that, and then, I met a little girl and we start, having some some babies and stuff.
Okay, so family took over.
Yeah, so now the responsibility kick in, and I just decided, to pursue one of my first love, which was medicine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I've been working as a medic for over 20-some years now.
Okay. Yeah. So you've seen a lot in that field, I'm sure.
Yeah, 9/11 was really what solidified the medical thing for me.
Gotcha.
Because I was on the Brooklyn Bridge when the second plane slammed in. I was trying to get down there, and the second plane slammed into the, into the towers, and I just felt the vibration. And
were you driving on the Brooklyn Bridge, or?
Well, I was trying to get in
to Manhattan.
To Manhattan on the Manhattan Bridge, and they rerouted us to the Brooklyn Bridge. So I'm on the side of the Brooklyn Bridge, and they shut down the Brooklyn Bridge right away as soon as I got on it.
Gotcha.
And we're on the side now trying to get off to go around to go back into Brooklyn. And,
got it.
And, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the plane slam into the building, and I felt the vibration. I was like,
no. It's funny because I was in the Brooklyn Tunnel. I saw when the first plane hit.
The battery tunnel?
The battery tunnel.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah. I saw when the first plane hit, and so when the second plane hit, I was literally stuck inside the tunnel.
Man.
So I had to jump out my car, leave my car, and walk back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I remember going through the battery tunnel days after.
Yes.
And you could see like a skeleton structure of... Yeah, it was pretty eerie.
I'm surprised you were in New York that time. I don't meet too many people who can remember vividly. What happened at 9/11.
Yeah, I grew up in New York. I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn.
So is singing something you always wanted to do, other than the fact that you're
yeah. Well, my uncle sneakingly convinced me about singing at a very, very young age.
Okay.
So at about 14, I think I wrote my first song.
Okay.
And, I formed a little band and we were doing our little thing,
Okay.
Yeah, so singing was definitely something I really, really wanted to do.
Right.
And still want to do, I still enjoy it.
Gotcha. And then you had your first single, or at least the one that I first started playing, I don't know, 12+ years ago.
Yeah, that song called You.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not really my first single still. No. My first single is a song called Rastafari.
Okay.
I did that song for a lady called Queen Omega. So that song came out back in 1998. And some company in Europe took it back then. Because I left a box of 45 in Ghana.
Of that song?
Yeah, and and years later, some man from Europe showed up. Some record exec, I was told, showed up with Danny Brownie.
With your song?
Yeah, with a broken record. But you remember back then we made the 45.
Right.
You had the label, the contact, the address, and stuff like that. Yeah, so he showed up, and the last thing I heard, he come back and buy 250,000 copies. And left. So every time I Google Rastafari Queen Omega band, I see they still have where you could get the authentic 45.
So you never sued or anything? Wow. You generous.
It's not really about generosity, you know. It's just like, you know, back then when we were doing the music, we were doing it for love.
Right.
You know, and no money thing.
Right.
You know, we never think about money. We always figure music can make us better, our lives better. But the love trump everything.
True.
You know, like now it's a little bit difficult for me because I have to work.
Right.
And I have responsibilities, so I'm looking to make money out of it. So it kind of suck all of the joy out of, you know what I'm saying? Out of the creativity part. Luckily, you know, music is inside of me, so, you know, I kind of overcome that by just doing it.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
But back then, man, I mean, we would sing, write music, make music for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
For free. Yeah. So after Rastafari, we put out another EP with a band that I formed around 2000. And then 2000, I left them and I formed a little group in Brooklyn where I was the Jamaican doing the dancehall stuff,
Gotcha.
you know, with like 4 rappers.
Okay.
And we got all the way up to Def Jam. But,
Wow.
you know, everybody fighting and cussing and stuff.
It always happens. Always happens. Wow.
Yeah,
So I met you way after you started in the business.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you met me when I was coming back into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because, you know, I was, you know, doing the 9/11, the paramedic thing
Right.
for a while, and then I moved to Atlanta, and that's when I decided,
To get back into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would have been around 07, 08.
Yeah,
something like-
08.
08. Right.
Yeah, 08.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you see how time flies.
Time really flies.
Right.
What has pandemic, you know, as a paramedic, you know, you had the pandemic comes up, I'm sure, you know, you're on call, you're, you know, frontline workers.
Yeah.
You know, what was that experience like for you, or what has been it like for you?
All right, so now I work here in DeKalb County.
Right.
So basically, the pandemic come in. I was sick at first. Didn't know. Nobody knew what was going on. I remember I was transporting a little baby somewhere in the area, and the grandfather who was riding with me told me he was a scientist at the CDC. That was
Really?
January 2020.
Just
So
before we really found out what was going on.
Yeah, so I asked him, I said, man, like, what's going on? You know, like, everybody's getting sick. They're going to the doctors. Nobody knows what's going on. He said it's a bad cold.
That's what he was told to tell everybody, I'm sure. I'm sure he was told to tell everybody it's a bad cold.
I look at him, I said, a bad cold? He said, yeah, a bad cold. I said, that's not a cold.
Yeah. Because you mean, being a pandemic,
Yeah.
a paramedic, you've seen.
Yeah, and then like February, we start hear about this Wuhan stuff and,
Right.
you know, this coronavirus and stuff. So at first, it felt like another 9/11 to me. You know, it felt like the world was ending because that's how I felt when I was in Brooklyn.
Right.
I don't know if you remember how the sky looked.
Yes.
The sky was
Yes.
dark,
Yes.
like 12 o'clock in the,
I remember driving to the tunnel, and just before I went into the tunnel, it was bright daylight.
Yes.
Beautiful morning.
Yes.
And then when I came out the tunnel, it was like midnight.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. But I don't mean to go back. You know, Burger King saved my life that morning.
How so?
All right. So I was doing floors that day because I was off the ambulance there. That was my off day, right? And for some reason, the boss wanted us to come in extra early that morning into Queens. So we get into Queens, and we had a project down by the towers down there to do some floors. And I said, you know what? I want some Burger King breakfast, you know?
Wow.
And my brother was like, Burger King? No Burger King not around here, so, you know, we have to go drive around, because back then we had to come out of Queens, we were closer to the Bell Parkway, right?
Gotcha.
So he was like, yeah, we have to go drive, go down, so make we just go down, so I will get Burger King. I think it was off Queens Boulevard or somewhere over there. And we wound up coming around the BQE. And that's when I saw the fire. I was on the BQE, so we got off, because we were in a commercial vehicle.
Gotcha.
So we got off the BQE right there by Tillery.
Yes.
To get on the man at the bridge,
Bridge.
and they go, no, shut down. Because I remember there was a policewoman in the middle of the road and she was like, no, 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 no. There's a firehouse across the street. I remember this big guy running, you know, and flopping and stuff. And I'm looking at him like, man, what the hell is going on? You know, so Burger King really, you know, because if we didn't take that detour to go to Burger King, we would have been down there because we were going right there. Yeah.
Wow.
And the ambulance company I was working for, we lost one person. Yeah, we lost because, you know, she was there with the boss. The boss left her in the vehicle. She's sitting there with the vehicle. The building collapsed.
Jesus.
You know,
Man,
so-
that's a day I would never, ever, ever forget.
Yeah.
But fast forward to
the
better
pandemic.
time.
Or some people call it pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at first we didn't know what to do. You know, and I remember Decatur was where everything started spiking. And we just kept going into people, you know, anyone that had respiratory stuff, we couldn't really treat them. You know, so a lot of people were dying, man, like unnecessarily. Wow. A lot of people were dying. I had a paramedic friend who intubated a patient and wound up on an intubator himself a few days after.
So you caught it from that person?
Caught it from that. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you caught it as well?
Yeah.
How many times?
The first time, you know, like I said, was in January. The second time was June of that mild, because I guess I had some antibodies from the first time. And then the last time was October of 2020, was really bad. Yeah.
So 3 times?
3 times, yeah.
But now you've got the...
Yeah, I got the Moderna.
The Moderna. Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 doses of the Moderna. Okay. Only because, you know, I found out more. I did the research, and, you know, being a paramedic, I had that, you know, I had the privilege of seeing how this thing work, and I'm on the front line still. So, you know, I had the ability to, you know, to see real results instead of like just reading or hearing. I see people who have taken the vaccine, and some of them old people, how's that going to if they wasn't vaccinated?
They'd
Yeah.
certainly die.
And the people who are not vaccinated, they look rough. You know, by the time we get to them,
Some people are just adamant about not taking this vaccine.
Yeah, that's their choice. You know, I respect their choice because I was like that too. You know, the only thing I have to tell, you know, to each his own. People got to go out and really, you know, research this thing and find it out for themselves.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
So I mean, I know there's a lot of, you know, conspiracy and stuff, and especially in the, you know, in the African American community, you know, what we've been through.
Right.
You know, so, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm never gonna be like an advocate or try to, you know, put people down for not taking it.
Right.
But I would encourage them to, you know, to
do their research at least.
Do their research, yeah.
Right. So throughout all of this, you still, you know, remain an artist. How do you remain focused on that while this is going on?
It's tough, you know. But it's like I tell people, music won't leave me alone because back into this pandemic thing, you know, when I see it, I say, you know what? I'm not supposed to be an artist. I got to go back to school and finish this medical journey because, look, the whole place shut down. Right. But in a couple of months after that, I'm like, man, you know, I don't really like this medicine thing no more. And I don't even know why I'm trying to choose this over music. So it's like this music thing, every time I say, you know what, yeah, I'm getting too old for this, or, you know, something else. I need to do something else to secure my future. You know, here comes music again.
Wow. And I was listening to Zip FM. You know, I listened to Johnny Cool, and I listened to ZJ Liquid, and I hear him say, you know, this brand new song, Defiance, right? No, Defiant. Jimmy D, and I'm like, I know a Jimmy D. Is that the same Jimmy D?
Yeah, that's me.
You know? All right, so wait a minute. That's the same Jimmy D. Yeah, you know, talk a little bit about that single.
Yeah, that single Defiance. You know, like everyone asks me, how you write that song? You know, I don't know. I guess I've been going through so much, you know, in the last 10 years, you know, with losing family members and stuff. The most recently was my aunt, who I always tell people is my mom. Okay. You know, is one of my mom, because it's my birth mom, my grandma, and my aunt. Right. Lost my grandma 10 years, my mom 4 years after that, and my aunt 4 years after my mom. So in the space of 10 years, I lost them three people to cancer. So, I was really in a bad space, and, like when my grandma left us, I gave up on music.
Why?
I gave away all my equipment. I said, that's it, because my dream of doing music was to make it and bring some joy to my grandma.
Gotcha.
And, when she gone, it shook me up so bad. I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. But what shook me up even worse was my mom. Because shortly after I gave up, I jumped back in it. Because I'm like, I got to continue this fight because I still have my mom and my aunt to bring some joy to, right? Mom left. And it was around that time, I felt like giving up. And that's where that, that whole me being defiant
Gotcha.
came from,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember I was driving, I used to live in McDonough at the time. So I would drive from McDonough to Stone Mountain to work, which is a nice little ride.
About an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to just vibe, and that's when the song came to me, and I just built upon it, and I just put everything that I was going through and feeling at the time into that song.
What year did you put out that song?
I put it out in 2018.
Wow.
After that near death in 2020 from that corona, that's when I decided, listen, I can't give up on this song, because the song is saying not to give up, right? So I said, I gotta just push this forward.
Wow.
That's when I revamped it,
And they've been pushing it a lot on these different radio stations in Jamaica.
Yeah, Irie FM in general, big up DJ Bones, and everyone, them show me real like mad love.
Yeah.
Like people calling me, they're like, man, you on these radio stations? I'm like, I switched to another radio station. I hear you. I switched to this one. So it's like it's real some heavy. I
mean, the lyrics is powerful.
Yeah,
Powerful.
I've always believed in a divine intervention or a higher being,
Right.
I should say. And even with even with my music, I used to say, I write music and then things happen. Like
almost like you write it into existence.
Yeah, I would write some stuff, but back then I was, would into writing love songs about girls.
Gotcha.
My heart being broken at 14 years old. I don't know nothing about that,
Right. Wow.
Years after.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
But, so I've always thought that, the Most High definitely have him hand in my music,
Wow.
Yeah.
What are your plans for this single though? You planning on marketing more, putting out a video for it, stuff like that?
Well, the sky's the limit, and I'm not gonna give up on it, and I draw, even though I wrote it, I draw motivation from it sometimes. Like I was listening to somebody else's song.
Gotcha.
So the sky's the limit. We about to shoot the video, but the disc jockeys are calling for another single, so we about to put
So you're
something
thinking
out.
about
A few more singles out, and then from.
So you're talking about an EP maybe?
Nah.
No EP.
No, everybody doing EP nowadays,
Right.
Probably just some more singles, until until the album come,
So how do you successfully shuffle being a paramedic full time and
doing the music
full time?
Magic.
Wow.
Hey, so I did a few interviews, while my nurse and my paramedic inside treating people. I did a few interviews.
Really?
At work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really juggling.
Yeah, I remember doing an interview with like 4 of us in the car and tell them, don't say nothing, I'm on the radio.
Wow.
Doing an interview.
Wow.
So
that's really
it's busy.
That's following, getting paid from what you do on a 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
And then still following your dreams.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I always encourage people, man. Like, I learned this because Jalife and Junior Rough Cut, from Brooklyn. They had a open mic concert back in the day with when Dennis Brown had just passed. So it was a competition of Utica over there, of this nightclub, and me and my DJ, because back then I didn't DJ, I just sing. Me and this brother called Chucky B entered the contest, and we won. So we got to perform on a big tribute they were keeping for Dennis Brown. Dennis Brown had just passed.
But what's next for Jimmy D though?
More music.
More music.
Yeah, more music. Just some good music.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Just more music. I don't know about the touring stuff yet. We had to cancel a tour.
All right.
I was going back on the road with Don Carlos. We had 135 shows.
Wow.
With Slightly Stupid,
Right.
Snoop Dogg, E40, and some more people. You know.
Wow. That would have been a big tour.
Yes. That
Huge.
was the come up.
Huge. Wow.
Yeah, that's what. Thank you, Corona. Yeah, that's what Corona stopped. You know.
Man.
Yeah. So it's a lot of back and forth. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. You know.
How can folks follow you on your social media and all that stuff?
Real Jimmy D. Yeah, I'm at Real Jimmy D on
Spell it Jimmy, because the
Instagram.
Jimmy is spelled a little bit different.
Yeah, it's one M and an I, no Y.
Okay. So Jimi.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, man, I'm proud of you, because to see you still in the business, and again, I was just randomly listening to the station and I heard Jimmy D. I'm like, there's only one Jimmy D. Unless somebody,
No, there's a few. There's a few people a few people hijack my stuff,
Yeah.
Because in 2010, I did a cover. VP Records wanted to do an album called Reggae Covers. And they were like, well, we should do an album, like back in the day when Sanchez and all them artists used to do it and stuff. So my producer at the time, a guy I was working with, because I produced my own stuff, contact me. And he was like, yeah, I think you should do this, and we're going to do the song. We're going to do it as closest to R&B and stuff. So I came up with that Bruno Mars song. VP took the song took off. Another case.
You never got any.
Nah. Another case of being too trusting. I don't want to say stupid, because I did it out of love, So he took the song, put it on his stuff, and people started coming into him and stuff, and he built a whole catalog of covers just off that one song.
Wow.
Yeah, that song took off.
And you never got paid? Like, in terms of...
Nah. I wasn't really doing it to get paid from that, but more like recognition from it.
Gotcha.
But, I got some recognition, but, after a while I just say, I will leave that alone. New thing.
Wow.
So that's why I really, that's why you don't really see me no more, because over time, man, so much people,
happen,
I'm a little gullible too when it comes to, when it comes to this music thing. I get excited over it, so I just, I have to protect myself like that. So I just
Did your uncle give you, is your uncle, right, Don Carlos? Did your uncle give you any advice that you live by today?
Yes. Basically, I watched that man get robbed so much.
Wow.
That's why I'm in my shell most of the time, I never went out, because at one point I was recording at Sonic Sound, Dynamic Sound in Jamaica. I was doing a lot of recording for people, and I said, you know what? I don't want to wind up the same way that that he wound up, because I watched him fight the government of South Africa for years to get all them platinum records and back money from all his music, and so what I draw from him and the advice I get from him, is just to stay focused and learn the business part.
Gotcha.
Because the business part is very, very important.
It's called the music business for a reason.
Yeah, and we don't want to be old people and sit there thinking like, wow, I should have been smarter.
Yeah.
With how I, conducted business. Because, it's always love.
Yeah.
You go in the studio and you hear that music, you're like, whoa, you just completely immerse yourself into the vibes
Yes.
and the feel. I mean, you know,
Of course.
you know, yeah.
Of course.
So, you know, and you know, I know all you listeners and you know everybody that tune in, you know, you can definitely connect with that.
Of
you
course. Of course. Well, you know what? Look into the camera and tell them the name of the single, where they can find it, if they can purchase it, where they can purchase it. All that
Okay,
stuff.
so the name of the song is called Defiant, We Not Giving Up, and you can find it on every digital platform, every single one.
There you go. And look out for the video coming out real soon as well. You know, I'm looking
Yes,
forward
in
to
the
that.
summertime,
Video.
yeah.
Summertime.
Yeah, I'm working though.
You're working?
Yeah, I'm dropping these pounds. You know? Yeah.
What are you doing? You working out?
Yeah, I'm working out and I'm eating better. You know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, them set a camera at 10 pounds. How much cameras you have on me?
One. One main camera. But it's always good to eat healthy, and you know, the older we get, you know, the more we try to be healthy because we can't keep those pounds off.
What I'm telling you, what is Jamaican food? I'm telling you, Caribbean food.
Yeah, man. It's fattening.
Yes.
It's fattening, especially Caribbean food here in the U.S.
You see, some oxtail with butter bean and all them things there. Butter bean.
Yes.
Yeah, when I really see them things
Yeah, I
there,
try not to eat those things anymore. I try to eat more, you know, the swimmers.
Yeah, yes. I don't know what that is. You know.
Seafood. But anyway, man,
I see my food before I eat it.
Oh my gosh. Jimmy D.
Yeah,
man, it's been many years, man.
Yes,
Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
I appreciate you. And on that note, we're going to catch you on another edition of Take 5.
All right.